Hello everyone and welcome back. Laura here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I said I would be back and would be featuring more of the fabulous These Are the Days release by the Greetery. It's going to be available today, probably right now as we speak. I'm going to be making a custom calendar. Never done a custom calendar before. I was excited to try it. First thing I did was, this is the Calendar Basics, the large grid to create your own calendar. I have about 4 or 5 sheets cut to A2, so 4¼ by 5½ inch white cardstock. I'm inking up the grid with Morning Frost, very, very light gray ink by Altenew. Any ink will do, any color, you know what I mean? You can really customize this. Maybe you want to stamp it black. You don't even have to stamp the grid. I'll show you later. I'm going to use the stencil. And you've probably seen, if you've been following the Greetery release, some people just make the grid with the stencil. I'm going to use the stamp and the stencil. You could use either one, get a lot of different looks. So I'm doing this like, what do you call it? Like mass production style, like assembly line. I'm just stamping a bunch while I have the grid lined up. And a lot of this project is going to be like that. Once you get the stamp lined up, you just stamp it multiple times. Now, I'm just dipping my toes into the old make your own calendar type of thing. And I'm definitely, let me just tell you, I don't know if you thought I was, but I am not like a mass production type of gal. I'm like a make one card and then go lay on the couch type of gal. Like that's enough energy exerted for me. I can't so I'm only doing 4 months, August, September, October, November. Now, obviously you're going to want to do 12, but the thought of it kind of like blew my fuse. So maybe you got to do it in increments. I don't know, do like 4 months at a time. Or if if you got the energy and you're jazzed up, and then you do all 12. While you have the stamps lined up, it does make sense. Now here I'm stamping this kind of solid border strip, and that's just kind of giving you a little separation. It's where I'm going to stamp the month name. So you see I have those like centered on there, stamping it with black ink. And there you have the August, September, October, November. Okay, so far everything is very neutral, gray and black on white cardstock. Here's where I'm bringing in the color. This is the calendar grid. Now the calendar grid layering stencil set has 2 stencils. This one is the large one, so it fits the large grid, and there's another one for the small grid, which I used yesterday when I was making those calendar birthday cards. And now I'm just doing a very light, I believe this is Cheeky ink by Simus the Stamp. This is actually a little bit too light. I like it. I go in later and add just a little bit more to pump up that vibrancy. I was going to say pump up the vibrations. And then now I'm going to do an orange one. I'm going in rainbow order. I can't resist it. I love the Pawsitively saturated inks. And there you have an orange one. And then I thought after, I have all these ideas for calendars. But I have very little energy. But you could customize for the season. Make October and November very autumnal. You make the summer months very summery. And, but I'm just going pink, orange, yellow, green. Here's the last one here. I actually didn't even go in order because I didn't realize I was blending September, but I did September in green. So actually I'm not going in rainbow order, but you get the idea. Okay, so that's celery ink. Look at how that just gives that nice little wash into every grid on the calendar, and it was very easy to do, and that's what I like about it. Here I'm stamping the days of the week. It's just the letters like SMT, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And while I have that lined up, I'm going to go ahead, stamp it on all 4 cards. Okay, so far so good. We got 4 months and I'm feeling fresh and fancy. But now here's where it kind of broke me, if I'm being honest with you. I wanted to stamp the numbers for every day, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and this is where I kind of cracked. Because if you think about it, stamping, but here's what I did. So like when I get the 2 on the little acrylic block, I go ahead and stamp the 2 where it goes on every month. Now I did have to check on my computer, like what day of the week does September 1st start on? Okay, once you figure out the first day of every month, then the rest is just like you know, mindless. You just line up the numbers and you go. But you do have to, like, you know, clean your stamp, move on to 4, stamp all 4 with 4, clean your stamp, do 5. And by the time you get to like 25, you feel like you're either going to kill somebody or crack. But no, like, I really do love how it looks. But I think you might need to break this down into increments. Like, don't try to do it all at once. It's a lot. You know what I mean? Stamping all the numbers. But I was feeling ambitious. And now I'm adding little hearts. This little heart is also in the Calendar Basics stamp set. And I'm just putting a heart where I have specific birthdays that I want to remember. So it's kind of a fun way. And you could do other little icons and other little ways. You could circle it and different things they have in the Calendar Basics to customize for certain dates. Now this is going to be the cover of the calendar. So I'm stamping several different, what is this flower? Is it a poppy? I can't remember, but it's one of the birth month blooms stamp sets. There's 4 of those birth month blooms for every quarter. And you could do a mixture of blooms. I'm just having fun making a floral cover for the calendar. And I'm using same colors that I used when I blended. So it all kind of ties together, a little bit cohesive. You feel me? I love these layering floral stamp sets. I think they're fantastic. In fact, I mean, I know you feel this way too, but like, I think everything the Greetery does is just utterly fantastic. I'm Betsy Veldman's biggest fan. I really am. I think I say that every time I make a video. Anywho, moving on, stamping the stems and all the blooms. So we gotta, I don't even know if poppies come in these colors, but we're gonna roll with it. And then the little black centers. Sometimes I switch to the little acrylic block. I find it easier for certain things than using the MISTI. Just depends, you know what I mean? And then the teeny, teeny, tiny little center, stamping that with yellow ink. And then I'm going to add a sentiment from that One Fine Day stamp set. And it says, it's a good day. And then I'm going to add a little sub-sentiment down there to have a good day. But there's another sentiment in the set that I really loved. And it said, day by day. And then you could do a sub-sentiment, new mercies I see. Anybody know that song? New mercies I see, all I have need. Okay, I'll stop. Flicking on some gold flicks with my splat box, just for funsies. And then I went ahead and die cut a bunch of the little spiral bound borders. I did that out of cream, and I'm gluing those on to the calendars, right to the top. So I decided it was easier for me if I just added the glue to the spiral strip, flip the calendar over and line it up on the back side. Does that make sense? Here, watch me. I've got this on the back, putting a strip of glue, flip the calendar over, line it up on the back. So you can kind of eyeball where the holes are to make sure your panel's straight, make sure it's centered, all that. Press it down, count to 10, and there you have it. I'm going to do all 4 of these and then as well add one to the cover. And then I'm going to show you how to add the little spiral doodad bounding. Okay. By the way, thank you for all the well wishes for my mom. She is doing great. I mentioned in the last video that she just had a hip replacement surgery and she's been staying with us. It's been a week now and she's doing fantastic. She's back to just taking ibuprofen off the heavies and feeling frisky. I did have a couple comments saying that, if they'd like to send her a card. If you would love to send her a card, you can email me. I will give you her address. That's so sweet. I think that's really thoughtful, but I mean, totally not expected. So just, if you want to, contact me, whatever the case. Okay, now I decided that the calendars looked really good. I like them plain, but afterthought, I decided to stamp some blooms in the bottom corner. So I don't know if I like it better or worse. Maybe, what do you think? You like it with the blooms or without? I don't know, because sometimes I look at it and I think maybe it covered up the numbers, but then I look at it and I think it gave it a little more interest. Potato, potato. I'm not sure. And these are all from the Birth Month Blooms stamp set. I just chose a variety of blooms and just stamped them using all Pawsitively saturated inks again. So there you have it. Here we have October. I believe that this floral is called the Hawthorn, if I remember correctly. And then lastly, we have November, and I'm just kind of alternating. Some I do on the left corner, some I do on the right. This one here, I believe, is the Aster, which is actually the September bloom. But I'm stamping it for November in orange. So you really can just do whatever you want to do, you know, at the end of the day. Okay, so there you have all the calendar stamped. You could certainly add more if you felt like it was too bare. Maybe you want to add more blooms up in the top right corner or just whatever, you know. So there you have the 4 months, and then you have the cover. And I'm going to put these in order. And I already trimmed the little spiral doodads to size. And you just kind of, it's so easy. I thought it was going to be very hard to do, but it's actually really easy. And Betsy has a great video. If you check out the Greetery YouTube channel, she shared a video how she put one together and added the spiral binding. And it's kind of fun. Something I've never done before. But I think I'm going to do it again. I think it's kind of cute, you know? You can do a lot of other things too with the spiral binding, like make somebody a little notebook or make them a little spiral bound, little scrapbook thing with photos in it, like a memory, you know? I don't know. I'm just thinking, I'm spitballing. But there you have, it's a good day to have a good day. And I'll flip through August, September, October, and November. And that's just to wet your whistle with the calendar basics and the birth month blooms and the One Fine Day sentiment stamp set. All products should be available now at the Greetery. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.